From today until Friday, MPs will be debating the 2021 budget statement, which Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat delivered last Tuesday.
Kicking off the proceedings, leader of the opposition Pritam asked for clarity on several initiatives, particularly those that aim to improve job opportunities, especially for older workers.
This is in light of the fact that a significant number of workers will also enter their 50s by 2030. The effectiveness of government measures should be readily determinable. Without such scrutiny, a perception may crystallize of large sums of money being deployed to address an issue for which effectiveness is hard to establish. This follows on from my call in September for more and not less information from the government. I encourage Singaporeans to look out for the reports of the Estimates Committee, a standing parliamentary select committee, one of whose roles is to examine the government's budget. If the government would consider a more aggressive reset in this regard, the establishment of an independent parliamentary budget office may well be another complementary addition towards the judicious use and accountability of taxpayer dollars.
Mr. Singh also called for the government to deeply assess how the pandemic has affected low-income households and their employment prospects.
He supported DPM Heng's plan to raise salaries for nurses, but hoped the same could be done for other frontline workers.
Like many Singaporeans, a high point for me in DPM Heng's budget was the announcement of a hike in the salaries of our nurses and healthcare professionals. A crisis usually leaves lasting lessons about those you can count on and who are always there in one's most challenging times. Healthcare workers deserve their raise. I would urge the government to look at reviewing the wages of other frontliners, and particularly essential workers like our waste disposal workers, transport workers, and many others who proved indispensable in this COVID-19 fight.
Mr. Singh touched on the rise in petrol duties as well, which came into effect on budget day, while road tax rebates would only be given at a later date.
The hikes were part of the Singapore Green Plan 2030 goal to nudge Singaporeans towards electric vehicle adoption.
I urge the government to review this budget announcement and implement a more thoughtfully phased-in increase of the petrol duty, in proportion to the actual growth of EV usage on the roads. The rebates proposed can be given out in a similarly phased manner. Such a move will be fairer for road users as compared to the Minister's current plan, which is also implicitly contingent on a large number of EV charging points becoming available in 12 months' time when the subsidies end. In comparison, the government's roadmap for 60,000 EV points has 2030 as its end date.